This is Peace of Mind Sports Podcast. Presented by UnoFam and the Overs Club for your best bet. Now here's your hosts, Mark, Max, and Marley. Peace of Mind Sports Podcast coming to you live, Super Bowl 60.
60, bro? That's impressive.
We got Marley in the house. What's up, brother?
Oh, let's go with you.
Max is in the
Good
house
morning,
today.
everybody.
What's up, Max?
Yo, what's up, guys?
We have our Browns ambassador, Eric, for our guest picker today. Super Bowl 60.
How we doing, everybody?
Let's go. Super Bowl. My favorite show of the year. My absolute favorite show. It stinks that it's the last game of the season.
It's bittersweet.
But this is it, boys. This is the show that we do the most. We're gonna have some Super Bowl tidbits. We're gonna talk about both of these teams. Talk a little bit about the season in general, and then we'll get right to our favorite props of the Super Bowl.
Did anybody watch the Pro Bowl?
Not a second.
Not even a little bit.
Not a second. I seen the score
Yeah,
was like.
I didn't even know the Pro Bowl was going on until I got on Twitter.
They did it on like a Tuesday.
Was it?
Yeah. Yep. It was like Tuesday.
I didn't even know.
I don't even know what time it was.
Well,
Well, so I'll say this: it caters to the younger kids. You know, they like to watch it, but like it's definitely not the same as it used to be. I understand the flag football thing; they don't want players getting hurt and this and that, but they must just give the award out to the players so that way. Like it's the players that are still in the Super Bowl representing the Pro Bowl as well.
Yeah.
Like
My take on the Pro Bowl has been, why not just make it a after the season thing? Like if you and the players are worried about getting hurt, right? Whether it's Super Bowl players or it's non-Super Bowl players, just make it after the season. Make it football. I mean, it's still football. But as you know, tell the people, of course, right? Like, don't body slam somebody, right? That you don't have to. Don't if someone's about to go out of bounds, don't hit them late, if you don't have to. Like, this truly is supposed to just be an expedition game. It's still football, but it's an expedition game. And then you can have the Super Bowl players, who a lot of those would have been Pro Bowlers, can now be in the Pro Bowl and receive that recognition, receive whatever incentives come with that if it's in their contracts.
mhm.
All the extra merchandise sales and stuff that comes from it. Going to meet all the other NFL players if you haven't met them before, and see more fans up close and do meet and greets and things like that. So, like, I mean, those players earn that. I mean, I feel like, yes, the Super Bowl is a bigger priority, but I feel like they should be able to have both, right? I mean, that feels like if you win the greatest award, the sport has to offer, you should also get to be recognized and as a Pro Bowler as well. Now, obviously, I think, all pro might mean a little more to the players and the Pro Bowl, but I still know it means a lot to them, and I still know some of that might be tied into contracts too.
Oh, there's
Interesting.
absolutely insane
I mean,
stuff.
once it left, it left Hawaii, right? Like that was like everybody go to Hawaii. They make a big thing out of it. They go on vacations, reward the players. I get that they wanted to add the extra bye week between the conference championships and the Super Bowl. So they want to keep the product going, right? So they don't want to have the NFL not have something going on in between the conference championships and the Super Bowl. I get that. But still, like, when you have Joe Flacco and Shadur Sanders as your Pro Bowl quarterbacks, or like Snoop Huntley, respectfully, like, no, it's just not going to be taken seriously. I'm sorry.
When I saw Joe Flacco got the quarterback, I was like, what in the hell? Why? Like, what? Don't get me wrong. He didn't have a bad season, but he sure as hell didn't have a Pro Bowl season. Like, that's literally because you had to go down through 32 other quarterbacks and you got to him. It's like, the fucking guy was a backup. Like, how the hell is a backup getting a damn start. Like it's outrageous. Just I don't know. Like get rid of it. Just don't have it. And I didn't watch a damn bit of that footage, to be honest with you. I never watched. I usually watch all the games and shit that they have, like the side games, like the kicker competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't know. It's not even fun to watch because they don't even
Mhm.
do shit anymore. It's just fucking people talking.
Yep.
Gentlemen, this is our sixth Super Bowl together, and I just want to say like how awesome that we've
Oh yeah.
been through 6 Super Bowls together, and I'm very thankful that we've been able to use this platform and talk some football every season and come together and share our differences and also common things that run this show. So I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. All right, many more to come. All-time Super Bowl records for us. Eric, appreciate you coming on for this is your first Super Bowl appearance on the show. Max, you are 3-2 in Super Bowls. Marley and I at the top, 4-1.
Which one did we pick? That we got the one.
I knew you were going to ask. I did not prepare for that. But I believe it was the 49ers and Chiefs. I think we both may have picked the 49ers and the Chiefs one.
Yeah, I could understand. I could see that one. I think I did pick the 49ers that year.
I could see it being that one. Because we started what, 2020, 2019? Yeah. So.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being that one. Of course, Max had to live and die with the Bengals.
Hey, look, man. The thing is, like, and it's like what ifs. I don't live on what ifs that the Rams won, of course, but like when you just go back and you look at those videos and highlights stitched together in certain angles, like Jamar Chase beat Ramsey, it was like wide open. So like if Burrow had if Donald doesn't bust through that line and like as soon as the snap basically happens, and Burrow has like 2-3 more seconds to see that and hit that, I mean, then that's Chase running downfield with less than a minute to go. So it could be different, but it is what it is. The Rams got it done. It was a pretty solid Super Bowl, man. You know what I mean? It was hell of a run by the Bengals.
My favorite Super Bowl to date, to watch them lose in the fashion they did as a Browns fan. Just being honest.
Oh yeah, it was great. As a Steelers fan, it was wonderful to listen to Cincinnati bitch again.
Oh yeah.
Paid all that money to lose. And you paid all that money to lose again.
Let's start with the Seahawks, guys. I'm going to start with them because I just have some interesting things that I would like to discuss about them. My question is, so we're living in a time where the Seahawks, I would consider them, they're consistently good over the past decade or so. This is their fourth Super Bowl in my lifetime. A team that struggled in the 70s and 80s. Had pretty much a Steve Largent to hang on, and then got into the Super Bowl. Marley, as you know, of course, they lost to the Steelers in 2006. They are 1-2 in Super Bowls all time. They beat the Broncos in 2014, lost to the Patriots in 2015. Would you consider the Seahawks a top 10 NFL franchise?
I wouldn't see why not. They have probably one of the strongest fan bases in the league, and they're a pretty big market, to be honest with you. And I mean, yeah, you got to think that's how many Super Bowls in 10 years. It's 3. That's not bad.
Like 3 and 20,
or how many in 20 years? I mean, there's teams that have never made that shit. Some teams are lucky to get 1 in 20 years. Some teams are lucky even get near it. So I'd say they're a top 10 franchise all day. They got if they can win this one, that'll definitely put them in that realm because then they'll be 2-2. And then they just got to keep carrying it on though. They got to keep this team together, and they could be 2-2 very fucking easily if they would have just or 2-1 or whatever the hell it was. They'd be 2-1 because if they would have just ran the ball with Marshawn back then, they would have won that game. They'd have beat the Patriots hands down. But stupid is as stupid does.
Well, you know what's crazy to think about? Now, obviously, they all won. I'm not taking anything away because it took greatness to even get there, and then it took it to make it come down to those few plays or whatever. But how different would it be for the Patriots if a few things went different, a couple plays, just like a few plays in each game? The Seahawks, like Marley said, they run the football with Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line, who's averaging what, like I think he was averaging like 5 yards a carry or something, 4.5, something like
He
that.
was getting in.
In that game right there, he's getting in. Like there's no doubt in my mind he would have got in. And if he doesn't, you still have, I'm pretty sure they still had a timeout and there was only like 30 seconds left, 20 seconds left, whatever. So like you literally run it, and if it doesn't work, then you still have a timeout at the 1 or at worst 2 yard line to either now make a throw play or B, hand it off again a different way. Um, and then of course, the field goal. What if what if Vinatieri would have missed any of those field goals?
Mhm.
The tuck rule, right? If that's a fumble.
Raiders should have won that game.
And then
Jesse
of
James
course,
catch.
the biggest one that is to me still the most baffling one out of any of those, even the tuck rule, even the Seahawks not giving it to Marshawn Lynch, is the Falcons blowing a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That Super Bowl, like, I've always liked the Falcons. I've had a lot of respect for them. Like, I was kind of secretly rooting for the Patriots to come back in that game, but just because it was just awesome to watch it like all happen. They made it
Like
a
I
great
don't
Super
think
Bowl.
like anyone really truly like 18 or younger truly that either A didn't grow up with siblings that, talked about it a lot or fans of those teams or whatever. Like I don't think they're truly gonna realize like what we witnessed live and what we saw, like how truly crazy that was that year for the Patriots to come back down that big against that Falcons team. I mean, that's a Falcons team with MVP Matt Ryan. That's a Falcons team with prime Julio Jones still. I mean, dude, they just were a very, very good offensive team. That offensive line was really good. I mean, dude, this still how that was what over 10 years ago now, actually.
Yep.
So like still
Crazy how
10
time
years
goes.
later, dude, when I watch highlights or see that on Twitter or whatever of that game and like, 8 years ago today or on this day, whatever, it's still just crazy to me, bro. Like it really is just wild.
Well, how about this year for the Seahawks? You got Sam Darnold coming from the Vikings, leading a team again to the same record.
That was the next
Oh,
thing that I
how,
had.
Now they're
Was Sam
coming into the
Darnold.
Super Bowl.
Sam Darnold is in the Super Bowl, fellas.
how crazy is it the fact that the Vikings let Darnold go?
The reason why the
Yeah.
GM got fired.
And I said it, dude. And I said it. I was like, man, he's playing good in that system. Kevin O'Connell is a very good offensive coach. It seemed to be working there. He's got Justin Jefferson. You've got Addison. I mean, you've got weapons there. You got a really good defense and a defensive coordinator in Brian Flores, who, in my opinion, should already have gotten another head coaching job by now. But you have all those pieces and a veteran quarterback, and you want to go draft. You drafted a kid thinking he was going to be it, and then he gets hurt, and then Darnold has that big year, and so this kid is still having this lingering effect that's been talked about in the news, going into the preseason that, they're going to ease him into it, hope he's good and all that. And you still was like, we're not going to give Darnold money. And then you watch him leave and go to another team, and then you start the dude that you thought was going to be it, and he can't stay healthy, and when he does play, he doesn't really play that well. And then you watch Darnold just rip off big game after big game after big game and lead his team to the Super Bowl. While
Don't get
now
me wrong.
you're sitting there wondering, well, is McCarthy even the guy?
Yeah.
The
They had
thing
a
is,
thing came out
Darnold
last
still
week that said,
struggled.
Right.
What's that, Eric?
I said they had a report come out last week that said that all options are on the table for them, the Vikings.
Wow.
I mean, I've heard something. I was listening to one of the radio shows on the radio the other day when I was on my way to work, and I saw they were talking about the fact that the Vikings, might, if they do want to leave, move on. They don't think he's the guy. That their best option is to trade him this offseason while his value is still somewhat kind of
Yeah.
unknown commodity, right? Like, okay, maybe it might not work for them, but maybe it'll work for us type stuff. And just shop him around and see, like, and see what's out there. But like a fit I heard was the Rams, right? Like, because Matthew Stafford already announced he's coming back right next year. So like the Rams could be a spot where he goes from Kevin up there with the Vikings to Sean McVay, and he sits behind Stafford for a year. So now he's getting healthy. Now he's learning behind Stafford, who's a Hall of Famer. Now he's learning under Sean McVay. Now he's in that system for a year or two, and now the Rams can kind of see what they can get. Apparently, heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. Now, me myself, I don't think the Vikings have much of a better option. I mean, the best free agent quarterback this offseason is Malik Willis, and I mean, I love Malik. When he had to step in for Love this year, he looked fantastic. But is that a product of LaFleur's system and the kind of really good offensive core we do have around us, or was that Willis just? I mean, he threw some dimes. Don't get me wrong, he threw some dimes, but again, is that just is that just a couple good games that no one really had a lot of film on him because he hasn't played in years, so you could kind of be creative. So do you take a risk at Malik Willis, try to sign Malik Willis and let him start because you traded McCarthy, or you try to draft one of the quarterbacks in this draft, which is in my opinion one of the weakest quarterback drafts we've had probably in the last 4 or 5 years.
I agree.
And so I think your best option is to stick with McCarthy. I mean, he's already got some NFL experience. If he can stay healthy and just stay on the field, the most importantly, then you can start seeing significant reps and significant game time. And I mean, you can see whether he's, good or bad. Honestly, I mean, if he goes out there and he's healthy, like there's no other excuses, and he just can't stop turning the ball over or can't lead the offense down or keeps making bad decisions, then obviously he's probably not going to be the guy. Or he still could just be young. I mean, look at Sam Darnold, right? He got kind of moved around a few years, and then suddenly it just clicked for him. I mean, it takes a lot of reps.
Well, they give up on these guys so quick.
JJ McCarthy is kind of just like Sam Darnold was. It's kind of like the kid in Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson was. They didn't have a lot of games started in college. McCarthy started that one season or that 2 seasons maybe. So like maybe 19 games, 18 games, something like that total.
Yeah, but even as a Michigan hater, as I am, like I think he stinks. He stinks. He had a running game carry his way through college. Like he averaged like 180 yards per game. They were talking about him being in the Heisman race, and I remember he was going up against Jaden Daniels, and you're like, "There's no way this dude is going to be a Heisman quarterback."
Yeah, no, I 1000% agree with you because, like I said, I said the same thing. He's surrounded. He's in a limited offense. He's mostly play action and off run game. He's not having to make a lot of big reads or checks at the line. I mean, because that year, as good as I do, not only low key were they cheating. Well, not low key, they actually were cheating. It's been proven. But not only were they cheating, but they primarily just ran the damn ball. So he just handed the ball off majority of the time. And I mean, and like I said, that offensive line was actually pretty good that year for Michigan. So I mean, again, he didn't face a lot of adversity to be honest.
Right.
But just like I said, he just hasn't really got a lot of game starts. I can't remember who said it. I think I've mentioned it once before, but somebody said that you truly need to see a quarterback get like 30 to 40 high quality starts before you really know what you have with them, just simply for the fact that it takes a lot of reps to truly figure out who you are as a quarterback, right? I mean, it's a really big mental game. I mean, it's the hardest position on the field. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Maybe not physically, right? But I'd say definitely mentally and in terms of the grand schemes of things, it is the hardest position to know because you've got to read the defense. You've got to read the offensive, you got to read the offensive line, make sure they're lined up correctly, make sure they've got the right pass protections. Then you got to read the defense, see the linebackers. Then you got to make adjustments off that. Look at the safeties. Where are they lined up? How are the corners lined up? Are they inside shade or outside shade? Are they playing press or are they playing off? Like You've got to look at all this, and then you've got to determine with your best judgment, is this play that we have called going to work, or is one of the audibles that is lingering off this play, based maybe in the same formation, maybe a different cadence, is that the better play for this situation? And you've got to be able to deduce that every freaking snap. Like this isn't just lollipoppy. Go out there and coach calls the play and you run the play because it's probably going to work or it might not work. This isn't little league. This isn't junior high football. This is the NFL. This is the best players in the world. You've got to be able to do stuff on your own. Like you can't just count on the play call and like, yeah, there's opening scripts in NFL games. It's okay, we're gonna run this play, then we're gonna run this play. But if you don't think quarterbacks like Brady, Manning, Breeze, Rodgers would improvise even on those opening drives, you're crazy.
Circling back to Sam Darnold though, real quick. So like, just kind of brush up on why we're discussing this. Like JJ McCarthy is a great example of how Sam Darnold started his career. So I don't think that they should necessarily give up on him yet. The league, I'm sure like the Vikings may have a chance of doing so, but I would not be surprised if he got to start somewhere else. Maybe like you said, behind, go sit behind Stafford for like one more year, maybe get a starting opportunity after next season and see where that goes. Because Sam Darnold just proved that, if you could just stick with the guy, get in the right system, you could still be, because coming out of college, he was a good quarterback, coming out of USC, right? So, and then it's just beyond everybody's, and then beyond what everybody's expectations were for this, he ended up being the first quarterback in the 2018 class to reach a Super Bowl. That consists of Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
And then that's the thing, even Sam Darnold, and that's like kind of like the point I also kind of was making, with JJ McCarthy. Sam Darnold is the prime example of it that could potentially work out if maybe change of scene or just the right coaching staff, or it just finally maybe clicks for him. Sam Darnold started one season at USC, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was like a redshirt sophomore or something like that. He started one season, maybe two. I think it was one though. And he comes out and he plays on the Jets with who Adam Gase, I think was the head coach there at the time. And we know what kind of quarterback killer he is. But he's on the poverty franchise of the Jets, who are still now almost 10 years later since he's been drafted, still poverty, still one of the worst teams in the league. No one has seemed to succeed there at the QB position. He's there, then it sucks up. Then where does he go? He goes to the freaking Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. Then obviously we know what a shit show the Panthers has been, really. So once he leaves the Panthers, he gets to go to a kind of decent team in the Rams with Sean McVay, right? Was it the Rams or was it the 49ers? It was the 49ers. 49ers, yeah, it was the 49ers. So then he goes to the 49ers, right? He's there, gets a good rep, gets some good stuff, goes to the Vikings, and immediately
boom,
just starts balling. Boom, just clicks out of nowhere. Now, obviously, Justin Jefferson helps and all that, but I mean, now look at him with the Seahawks. He left and is playing just as good as he did with the Vikings. Maybe if not, maybe a little better.
I think he's playing better than he did with the Vikings, to be quite honest.
I did too, and I did not expect that. I expect him, that was his peak. He was either going to stay at that level or fall off a little bit from being in a new system, but they really got him dialed in over there.
Like QB development, man, really isn't a science. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're gonna have guys that flame out and just don't click, man, at the next level. They just for whatever reason, whether it's the yips or whatever it is. And then you've got guys, that you draft with very low expectations and they just put in the work, and eventually they have to start because of injury or whatever, or maybe you see some stuff start seeing stuff in practice that stands out, and then they just become an all pro, or they just become Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback. He's not like, oh my God, this guy's going to be, multiple MVPs and a Hall of Fame quarterback. Brock Purdy's a damn good starter and definitely a lot better than what his evaluation obviously was.
I think it's a full system. It's full reason for the system that he's in, though. I think Kyle Shanahan's an amazing quarterback coach. I think it kind of talked about it. Look at Darnold went to San Francisco and then goes and works with another great quarterback coach in McConnell.
Oh, absolutely.
So he got a really good stretch of luck, which is good for him. I'm happy for him.
Oh yeah, I think it's a great story not being talked enough for it being
Yep.
Super Bowl week. I think it was pretty quiet, and which was a little unfair. Just an update, guys. We're gonna have a slight program change. Eric is gonna be leaving the show around 12:30 for some things to tend to. So I'm glad Eric was able to give a take in there. What I'd like to do, just as an idea for the next like 15 minutes, of course, we can all chime in on this. I'm going to make it a little bit more available for Eric to discuss anything that he wants to before he ends up leaving. And then, Eric, I'll just have you send me all your props sometime later today. That way we don't have to go through all of them. We can still do it in real time. Did you have anything else on the Seahawks before we moved on to the Patriots, Eric?
No, I can't remember the guy's name. He's a D tackle. I'm rooting for him specifically. It was cool. He had a cool little story come out about how he was born at 23 or like 23 weeks, I think is what it was. He had a 1% chance to live, and he's now he's on a D tackle for the Seahawks. So
That's
thought that
awesome.
was a kind of cool little fun little story that came out that I saw. But
The-
no, I'm excited to see this game. I think the Seahawks. I mean, as an Ohio State fan, I hope JSN goes off.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
but I don't know. I think I have not really watched a whole lot of their defense, to be honest. I haven't watched a whole lot of Seahawks games.
They're good.
But that's everything I've heard. And when I watched the NFC Championship game, obviously saw that as well. So
The last thing I wanted to
I'm
bring up here
excited.
that ties in with the defense, Coach Mike McDonald coming over. Of course, I'm wearing my Marshawn Lynch jersey. I have, a little bit of love for the Seahawks. I'll be rooting for them a little bit extra today. As much as I have talked about Drake May all season, I love Coach Vrabes. I kind of love this new version of the Patriots beyond Tom Brady, but I really do enjoy the Seahawks. But I wanted to mention this, this is just absolutely incredible, the run that they were able to go on and put together. That the fact that Geno Smith was what was holding this team pretty much back from getting to the Super Bowl. And not only that,
Crazy.
but McDonald, they got the number one seed. So he had to beat Kyle Shanahan, which is in his division, to get to the Rams to beat them to go to the Super Bowl. Like that's just unbelievable. And I was fading them on my picks. I think I picked the Seahawks the game that they played the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. I took the I'm sorry, I'm just running through this real quick. So I took the Rams last week. And it was just really eye-opening to me that like this team may be, legit, and they're absolutely going to have a chance. And I understand why they're favored in the Super Bowl today.
Seahawks went 2-1 against both the 49ers and the Rams this season. 1-1 in the postseason. I mean, in the regular season, 1-0 in the postseason.
Wow.
Oh, getting it done. See your opponent, learn from your mistakes, capitalize next time you see him.
So Eric, I'm going to start with you for the Patriots side then. How do you feel about Mike Vrabel being in the Super Bowl?
See, I like Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Again, an Ohio State guy. Obviously, he spent time with us last year. It seemed like from the outside looking in, it seemed like there was a lot of good things that were said about him in his time here. So that was really cool to see. I also love a good comeback story, although I wish it was not the Patriots that he was coaching. I wish it was a team that actually needed a comeback. But that's honestly the only reason I'm rooting for the Seahawks today, because I really don't want the Patriots to start a whole new dynasty. But I think it very well could be coming.
Right. So you mentioned, of course, with him being in our building last year, like is there a little extra how that makes you feel that possibly I mean, there was no way. Marley and I have talked about this for several weeks. There was no way he was going to coach the Browns, but the fact that they didn't even ask him to, like Robert Kraft was like, yeah, you're coming home over here, and he was in the Browns building last year. Just
Sure
blows
was.
my mind.
It's always blown my mind too.
Well, the Browns were going to give him the control that Robert Kraft did. That's
Right.
the thing.
Right.
They weren't going to release the reins and just let him coach his team and pick his players. And Robert Kraft has a lot to do with that franchise, but he doesn't put his hands like Jerry Jones does. He just writes the checks. He lets his team. And they don't really pay a whole lot of people big money up there either. Like Brady never had one of those, huge ass Cam Newton contracts or nothing like that. He took pay cuts most of the time to stay, to build a team. So I think that's, I don't know. When it comes to Vrabel, I said at the beginning he wasn't going to be I didn't think he was a good head coach, but I guess it must have just been the franchise, because I mean he took a team that was what, 2 or 3 wins last year, and now they're going to the Super Bowl.
So that was one of the first tidbits at the top. So before that, he did take the Titans to the AFC Championship. He kind of revitalized that team as well. But he was the coach that he was in a position where he wasn't able to get their team to the next level. Whether that was because of personnel or because of coaching issues, I understand that take on that where you were coming from. But he was a widely respected coach around the league, regardless of what his position has been, which is why he was able to not only get the Patriots job but complete the turnaround that they were able to do. So they're the first team in NFL history to go from 4-13 to 14-3 and make a Super Bowl. So that's pretty amazing there, right? Marley, I got a good one for you. This is the 12th Super Bowl appearance for the Patriots. They are 6-5 at all time. They are tied for the most Super Bowl wins of all time with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6.
Yeah, I've spent a quarter of my life watching the New England Patriots go to the Super Bowl.
Isn't that wild?
Imagine. A quarter of my life. I'll be 46 at the end of the month.
As far as Drake May goes, this is a kind of a skewed stat. I wanted to do a little bit more research on it, but I've come up with the fact that somewhere in between, either as a starter or as a quarterback, 9 QBs have reached the Super Bowl in their second season. Drake May, Kurt Warner, St. Louis, Tom Brady from New England, Ben Roethlisberger for Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson, Seattle, Dan Marino, Miami, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati, Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia, and Pat Mahomes, Kansas City. It's a lot. It was actually a lot more than I thought there would be.
They all make sense though. When you think about those individual circumstances, they all make sense.
Like I said, as far as the Patriots go, it's a great story for them. Unfortunately, yes, it's Boston, and they're the spoiled Boston fans that have so many championships and all across their sports. They could just turn any franchise around and get right back to business, and it's just it blows my mind what they've been able to do. But I'm a Drake May stan. I really like what he's been able to do. I thought he was a pretty good rookie. He had a terrible O-line last year, and they kind of fixed that issue a little bit. I still think they're going to have a little bit of trouble with the O-line today, but I think the Patriots are set up for some future success. Max has got Kayshon Boutte. Kind of revitalized his career beyond college football, where he got in a little bit of trouble, kind of knocked back his draft stock a little bit, but he's really settled in as a solid number 2 receiver for the Patriots. Stephon Diggs finally gets an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl after coming short so many years in Buffalo. So there's some good stories on the Seahawks side as well, and of course I'll be rooting for Travion Henderson as well.
Same.
Max, anything you got on the Patriots before we move on to overall tidbits?
The Patriots, one of the first teams to go from basically zero to hero in 1 year.
Unbelievable.
There's how do you go from double-digit losses to double-digit wins and a Super Bowl appearance in one off season?
My arms are up.
I mean, that's about all I got before we get to the other thing. It's just the job Mike Vrabel. It's just still insane to me how he somehow outcoached himself to get the Titans the 1 seed, and of course Tannehill shitted away with 3 interceptions in a playoff game.
Right.
But the success that he brought the Titans with the resources given to him, the players he had, and they were just like, nah, I think we're good on that. And then he just immediately goes to the Super Bowl. It's just crazy.
Imagine being a Titans fan. You're kicking the air right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Somebody broke their TV, dude.
Yeah. He hates their front office, but I can't imagine being him right now, especially if they win this. Oh God, I'd be sick. Like they literally traded away their best wide receiver for Skittles and a guy that never caught a touchdown pass for him. And you had a team that was, like you said, Max, earlier, went to the AFC Championship game, and then you gut it the way they did. It'd be a hard pill to swallow.
Is the biggest mistake in the world. Like, are you kidding me? Any quarterback can play good behind a running game like that. Like, geez. Might have to throw the ball 10 times a game. Yeah.
Super Bowl tidbits. I'm gonna run through the 3 that I have, and feel free to add any or open discussion after I list through these. Right. So this is the third Super Bowl in the San Francisco Bay Area. Right. Of course, yeah. Surprisingly, yeah, a lot of them have been, Miami, Louisiana, of course. They started incorporating, they had the one in New York, Tampa. They move around. Arizona, Glendale, Indianapolis. Yeah, so it's expanding a little bit. And I'm going to say this for now. I think Max may agree with me on this one. I would absolutely love to see a Super Bowl at the Rose Bowl again. Please.
That would be
Hell
cool.
yeah.
Give me a 3:00 Super Bowl in the Rose Bowl. I would love.
I don't think that's.
I think a Rose Bowl Super Bowl would be absolutely phenomenal. But you see, my thing is too though is like we should have the Super Bowl in like some of the best like walkable, most appropriate cities like each year and like rotate them around. I mean, a lot of people say New Orleans is one of the better cities for the Super Bowl. You have a lot of people that say Super Bowl should be in New Orleans every year. I mean, you have people that say maybe it should be in Miami every year, warm weather, all this and that. And of course you got people that thinks it should be in Cali and this and that. My thing is, if it's gonna be on the West Coast, like make it the Rose Bowl. I mean, I think that would be phenomenal. I think not only would you draw the fans of those individual teams, but I think you would draw some Rose Bowl fans themselves to want to come to that game and watch it just because it's at the Rose Bowl.
Quite honestly, I think that stadium needs it because the lack of fans that are showing up for the games that are hosted at the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it could be really good for the Rose Bowl itself to try to get that as well. Myself, the Super Bowl venue has never really bothered me too much, right? Like, of course, I like when it's in Louisiana just because it really boosts the economy and everything like that. But to me, I just like to watch a really good football game. That's my most important thing is the two teams that earn that right to get there is hopefully we don't see a blowout, right? Like that's always my biggest fear. Of course, obviously, if it's like my team, I wouldn't mind seeing a blowout just because it'd be stressless. But I always love to see those back and forths. Those maybe low key defensive matchups where it's like 14-7, 21-14. Late in the game or something like that, or hell, maybe it's a shootout. It's like 35-35 at halftime, and then it ends up being like 48, 38-37, something like that. Whatever. I want to see a very good game.
I'm with you. Back and forth. I don't want to see a 7-3. I don't want to see a 13, 17-13. I want to see a, give me like a 31-28 game, back and forth, down to the wire.
That'd be nice. I
would love it.
Yeah, make it exciting. It ain't none of our team.
Even as much as I picked the Seahawks or the Eagles to win last year Super Bowl. I'm glad that they beat the brakes off of the Chiefs. It was kind of boring.
Yeah, it wasn't that fun to watch. It was like, it's just watching this shit for the hell of it, to be honest.
Of course, we already mentioned this is the rematch of Super Bowl 49. And then the last one that I have is Drake May is the youngest quarterback to start a Super Bowl.
Ooh,
that's cool. That's a good little tidbit.
Right. I'm
out of here, fellas.
Surprised.
Appreciate you guys.
Eric, thanks for joining us. Like I said, I'll shoot you over all the props if you didn't remember them, and we'll get those in. And yeah.
Who are you picking, Eric?
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Nope, I didn't see anything. Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm gonna take.
Seahawks. You kind of told me in the pre-show already, so all good, brother.
Sorry.
Appreciate your time. Go enjoy later. Peace out. All right, boys.
I'm kind of surprised though with the MVP, man. I really don't understand why Sam Darnold did not get the nod either. Like, why the fuck did the guy that lost the NFC Championship game get the MVP? How are you the most valuable player in the NFL right now over Drake May or Sam Darnold?
I think during
you're at home.
Well, I'm not even going to cut you off, Marla. Over the course of the regular season, which is what the MVP award is about, Stafford just had a little bit overall better, more consistent numbers throughout the season. I would say if you're talking about most valuable player, who is most valuable to their team, it is Sam Darnold. I agree.
Fucking right. Like the fact, I don't know. Like I think it should be off a season whole. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's great that you had a great regular season and you got your team to the number 1, number 2 seed. Well, the Rams one is the number 6 seed for crying out loud. Don't get me wrong, they still had one hell of a good record. It was a hard year for that conference to get in. Every team had double-digit wins, single-digit losses, but it's like, man, I think these awards need to be judged over the playoffs as well. Like at the end of the day, Stafford shit the bed. They didn't get it done. It just wasn't there. So why doesn't Drake May get he lost by 2 votes basically? That's terrible. Terrible. And how is that kid not the most valuable player? Second year player going and taking his team to that kind of record and making the plays that he did. Without Drake May, they're not doing what they do. And don't get me wrong, without Matt Stafford, the Rams aren't doing what they do either. But I don't know, man. I just these awards are just so fucky. It's so stupid. Like, and then the fact that so JSN got offensive player of the year, so that means they're all getting snubbed now for everything else. Like,
I know we didn't really. I didn't really prep to discuss the awards, so I'm glad you mentioned that as well. We can run through these if you'd like.
I mean, it just amazes me though that you got the NFL, you got the two best teams in the league going into the Super Bowl, literally the 2 best teams in the league, record wise, everything wise, and you got no votes. You lost the MVP votes. Like, yeah, JSN got the OPY, but come on, like.
Not to mention, like, you know how many years Christian McCaffrey's won Comeback Player of the Year award, like 3 times.
Yeah, that's because he keeps getting hurt and comes back as a beast. And how did he not even get like an MVP nod? To be honest, how the hell did Justin Herbert get 1 vote? How did you even get on the board, bro?
Yeah, I don't know
was that a Chargers
for that guy? Yeah, maybe Chargers beat reporter or something.
Come on, man! Like they got to get this shit right. Like I don't know. I think they should they got to get rid of the voting squad. Like they're gonna change it. So they need to redo this shit. Like they need to honestly look into you could take the Super Bowl out of it then. So these awards shouldn't come till after the Super Bowl. Because of who really stepped up in the playoffs. Who really you got guys coming out that get
no.
Damn near
this is for the regular season. So it should stay. It should be before the Super Bowl. Actually, should be done before the playoffs finish. But I get what you mean.
Yeah, but they you guys start getting their flowers, man. It's pissing me off. Like, you want to look at a guy like, take for instance, like we had that year with Saquon. Should have not got the Player of the Year offensively. Should have damn sure got MVP. Because get the fuck out of here. That team literally rode that man's back into the Super Bowl. And you don't want to give him the most valuable player. You want to give him Offensive Player of the Year. That's some shit that a receiver could. Come on, man. That dude did that shit all on his own. Yeah, he had to line the block, but after that, he's breaking tackles. No one's doing that for him. I don't know. It just some of these awards are just stupid. I think like they're almost like the Grammys now. Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Right. Well, also like notably, it's good to see some positive sides. With the Browns, they had 2 players in these awards. Carson Schlesinger, linebacker, got Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then, of course, with the record-breaking season that Myles Garrett had, he wins, Defensive Player of the Year. So that's encouraging as a Browns fan to see.
Want to talk about a snub,
right?
Like literally, want to talk about a snub right there. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, don't get me wrong, he's usually on the ballot every year. It's him and TJ usually fighting for it. TJ just had an off year this year with getting hurt and whatnot. Stupid ass training staff. But if Myles Garrett didn't get it, I was like, yeah, this is a sham. It's a sham. This doesn't exist. It exists for ratings, and that's about it.
2 awards that I do care about. Also, additionally, we didn't talk about, of course, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Carolina Panthers wide receiver, Teteroa McMillan. That's awesome. But the 2 awards that I also wanted to discuss too was Walter Payton Man of the Year. I know that's one, Marley, that you always look highly on. Which was Bobby Wagner, linebacker of the Commanders. I do really like that they give out this award and care about players, what they do outside of football as well. One new one that they added was the protector of the year. Give the offensive lineman some
Right.
some love too. That went
I
to
really
Chicago
love that
Bears.
they added that award.
Yeah, Chicago Bears guard Joe Thuney. And it showed because this is a player that came that Ben Johnson wanted to get some protectors for Caleb Williams. He leaves the Kansas City Chiefs and Pat Mahomes gets boat raced out of the playoffs. So it shows a lot of what offensive linemen can do for a team.
Oh, I think you can't win with a bad offensive line.
You can't.
I honestly, every probably majority of every Super Bowl winner, college playoff football winner, BCS winner, whatever, if you probably went back and looked at their team, their offensive and defensive lines respectively probably were a very good unit. They didn't have to be top 5, top 10, but they were probably a top 15, top 20, top 25 unit that had probably played together for multiple years.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, boys, you ready to do some props for the show and wrap up with our game picks and all that fun stuff?
Absolutely.
Let's get it.
The boy needs a pen. All right. Number 1. Starting. Woo. Run that back. I'm not doing a national anthem today. National anthem over under right at 2 minutes, 119.5 seconds. Charlie Puth. Over or under? Marley.
Over.
2024
2
went
minutes,
over.
10 seconds.
Over. Okay.
Yeah, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Is that all you want?
So this is it's when the word brave ends. The music could still be going on after. It's as soon as he stops saying the word brave.
When
Yeah,
what's the favorite?
It's I think it's even money. It's 119.5 is like it's even. I can check real quick if you'd like.
So basically it's a coin toss right now. You know what? Give me the under.
Under. I was back and forth. I'm going over. I'll take the over. Up on that one. All right. This was something we discussed in the pre-show with the coin toss. With it being heads or tails, they've obviously been incorporating, like logos and teams and stuff like that. So this is a little bit tougher one to pick. I guess I would say if it comes down to logo and team, it'll be logo is heads, team is tails. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I am going to go heads logo. I forget what was it last year? Last year was this is the only one I didn't write down. It was tails last year.
I'm gonna go
Oh, I did have it written
tails
down.
because tails never fails, and since we're gonna be maybe team is the dream. So let's go with that side of the coin.
Marley.
Tails.
All right. Number 3. First points, field goal, touchdown, or other. Marley.
Touchdown.
Tutty.
By the way, whoever gets the ball first, like whoever gets, they're both gonna. I think they're both gonna score in the opening drives.
Wow. All right. Max.
Yo, I'm feeling spicy. Give me the other.
Ooh.
He said safety.
That's pretty much it. I mean, a kick return, opening kickoff. That's touchdown.
Rashid
Shaheed. Max?
Huh?
Rashid what? Rashid Wallace?
No, Rashid. Shaheed.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah, he just
What?
giving him props.
Oh, okay. My
What
bad.
the fuck?
My bad, bro. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I'll
he
go.
took
What?
he took a kickoff back the last game
Yeah. Well, that would be a
for the
touchdown.
Seahawks.
That wouldn't be other. I'm taking field goal.
Oh yeah.
First team.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was tripping for a second. For some reason, I was thinking like offensive touchdown or like
That's
special, like other being special teams.
that's why I
So yeah,
was.
I'm gonna go touchdown.
Okay. I was giving you little hints there of
Yeah, I misunderstood
You-
what how you categorized it first.
I have to put other because technically, like if there is a safety, we lose.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
other is, yeah, even defense touchdown. That's it's still a touchdown. Special teams touchdown. That's a touchdown. I'm gonna laugh when it's a safety.
You're okay.
First team touchdown. Patriots, Seahawks. I guess I could put the category in none if there's no touchdowns. But Patriots or Seahawks.
I'm gonna go Seahawks first too.
Seahawks. Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Yep.
Well, I mean, it all depends on who gets the damn ball first. Is the problem?
Yeah, gotta pick one.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the Seahawks are probably gonna win the toss, so I'll go Seahawks.
Give me the Seahawks as well. Halftime lead. Patriots, Seahawks, tie. Patriots, Seahawks, tie. Marley.
Seahawks by a field goal.
Yep. Max.
Seahawks.
I really want to pick tie. It's just so hard to.
It's hard to envision perfectly planning out to be a tie.
Especially like the odds of. I mean, very well could be. I mean, it's not impossible. It's just there's going to be a better chance of one of these teams having the lead versus a tie. I'm looking up really quick. Like, let's go to like first half. First half spread is Seahawks minus 3.5. It's plus 100. Patriots plus 3.5 minus 120. First half winner Seahawks minus 194. Patriots plus 158. They do not have. Oh, three-way. Tie is plus 850. Wow.
Yeah.
Seahawks minus 155. Patriots plus 180. Tie.
Those are
plus
pretty
8.
good odds.
If I was betting today, I'd go tie. I'm not gonna lie. If I was betting, I'd go tie. I'm gonna go Seahawks. That's. I feel like this game's gonna be a chess match. Honestly, like there's gonna be a couple touchdowns, there's gonna be a couple field goals. Plus 8.
I think the first be slow going, but after the halftime adjustments, I think they're gonna come out and sling that rock.
Yeah. 6. Will there be a defense / like and or a special teams touchdown? Yes or no? I'm going yes.
No.
Okay.
I'll go yes, would you?
Okay. You say she. Because both these quarterbacks can throw an interception. They both can either both could possibly have pick sixes. All right, boys, the over under 45.5. Marley, over or under? I will tell you as far as prop props go for this game?
I'm gonna go with over because I've been looking. It's kind of even scored. Like they're both like 28 points a game or something like that.
Yep. The
I'm gonna go a
under
little
is
bit over.
the under is slightly favored. Let's go. Points would be. This is a one that you like. This is a that you like to know. Patriots alternate total goes up to their last one is 19.5 at minus 130. 20.5 is plus 102. Seahawks total points is at 25.5. Minus 113 for the over or under.
I think you got to score 28 points to win this game.
So you like the over?
Yeah, I want the over. You got to score at least 28 points to win this game. I can easily see this being like a 35-28.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like 28-24, somewhere around there.
Nope.
Max, over or under 45.5?
Over.
Don't get me wrong. You got two very good defenses in this game.
Taking the over too.
But you also have two very, very potent offenses coming into this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to give each other fits all day. But like I said, I think after half, I think we're going to watch a very slow going first half. You know, like I said, I think they're both going to score on their opening drives. The script plays, they're going to run that shit. They're both going to score. After that, though, I think you're going to see a stalemate. It's going to be somebody might have a field goal. That's why I said I bet you the Seahawks are able to march down far enough to be. I bet you at the end of the half, it's going to be like 17-14. You know, some 13-10 type shit going on where, you know, they barely both make that. I don't think they'll both make it in the end zone until the second half after they both score the first time.
I can agree. I could see a couple of field goals in the first half and then take off. So we'll sweat the over a little bit. All right. Game picks. Our last one of the season, boys. Patriots, Seahawks. Give me a score for the tiebreaker also. That consists of like closest to the winning score number.
Like I said, man,
without going
I'm going to
over.
go with Seahawks 35-28.
So you think they cover the 4.5? Interesting. Max, Seahawks, Patriots, winner of Super Bowl 60.
Is he there?
He's here. He's just muted.
Oh, I was muted. I can't believe I was muted. Dang, how long have I been muted? I was gonna go with over in points. By the way, I said over. I didn't realize I was muted.
I have you down for over. Yeah, I have you down. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you muted right after.
I'm gonna go. I gotta pick a score and winner.
Yep.
31-17 Seahawks.
Wow. You think it's gonna be that bad of a beating, huh?
This and I have a little bit of some good tidbits on them too. If y'all have a few seconds.
Oh, absolutely. That was a lot of time for you to do that. Of course.
The Patriots offensively in the 3 games that they've played have only scored more than 20 offensively one time. If you go and look, and I will just specify the games for you. In the conference championship, they only scored 10 points. They beat the Broncos 10-7, who had a backup quarterback. In the divisional round, they beat the Texans 28-16, but they only scored. That's the only game they scored 21 points in offensively. The wild card round against the Chargers, they only scored 16 points. So offensively, in the postseason, it just has not been there for them. Also, Drake May has not been the same quarterback that he has been in the postseason as in the regular season. His completion percentage is down way big. He's also thrown an interception in every single game he's played in the postseason except one. The other thing, Drake May has also been sacked 5 times in each of the 3 playoff games. So 15 times total. 5 sacks in every game. He's gotten sacked 5 times. Do you know who is a top 10 team at getting to the quarterback and getting sacks? The Seahawks. So you don't have a really good matchup right there with how bad the offensive line is playing right now in terms of letting Drake May get hit, and in terms of not scoring points. You're not going up against a very good friendly defense to be trying to figure out your offense right now. Now that's not to say that they can't just come out and start scoring points and everything. I mean, you never know, but the trajectories they're on right now is not looking really good for the Patriots offense. And then on the flip side, you look at the Seahawks offense. I mean, and it's just been phenomenal. Darnold has no turnovers. He has not thrown a single interception this entire postseason.
That's crazy.
He has also only been sacked 5 times in the 2 games they've played. So, still not great, but obviously way less than what Drake May has been sacked. And the Patriots, while they can get to the quarterback, that's not like their specialty on defense. They're not very, very elite in terms of getting to the quarterback. Now, like I said, the Seahawks in their 2 games, they haven't had a problem scoring. They blasted the 49ers 41-6 in the divisional round. And then, in the conference championship, they beat the Rams 31-27. Now, obviously, that 27 points given up isn't that great, but you got to think of the circumstances. You're going up against Sean McVay, one of the best offensive mind and head coaches in the NFL, and has been for almost a decade now. You have Matthew Stafford, a very elite quarterback who just won the MVP, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You've got a very good offensive duo at receiver in Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I mean, that team scores points. They've scored points all season. It's the reason Matthew Stafford is the MVP. So I mean, they still beat them as well and outlast them offensively. I mean, they've scored over 30 points in each of their games.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it just it doesn't bode well for the Patriots right now. Now, obviously, Mike Vrabel is a damn good coach. I know he's going to have that team ready to play. They do have some good talent. I just feel like they're like a year away, truly. Like or 2 years away. Like I just feel like due to circumstances, particularly maybe schedule, maybe injury luck they ran into, that they had a very fantastic year. But when you just look at the Patriots, I mean, nothing just screams super elite besides like, or player wise, besides like what Drake May, and like what comes down to actually winning the games. Very, very elite players. The Seahawks have a couple that I can think of just right off the bat that stand out to me as dominant players
on both sides of the ball, not just the
on both
offense.
sides of the ball. So I just, like I said, I think the Seahawks are going to handle business, man. I think it's going to be one of those things. But I do have a major Super Bowl tidbit if anybody's going to be betting this game, and for those just interested in it. The underdogs have won outright 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, including 3 straight wins and covering in all 5 of those games.
See, I'm not gonna lie. That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite bets. Once I looked at the line, and this is one of the first Super Bowls I've seen in the past couple of years that I've been able to bet on them. The line has not moved. It stood firm for like the past 2 weeks since the lines came out. It is stuck at 4.5, and that has not moved one bit. And one of the first things that came to my mind was I like the Patriots to cover the 4.5. If you look down the history of the Seahawks and Patriots games, I know this is the Super Bowl; it's a little bit different. But I think this is going to make them play a little bit more, closer, I guess I would say, if that was my prediction. One of my favorite bets, if I were to bet today, shockingly, I'm not on the Super Bowl, but if I was today, the 4.5 is one of my favorite absolute bets, one of my favorite absolute best bets. What I did was, so there's a couple of guys in the Overs Club, shout out to them, of course. You can do what's called a pass the leg parlay, where you can just create a link and you can all add legs to a parlay to make one parlay. I think that's really cool. It's a very collaborative thing. So when I was looking down in there, what I added in for them to do was I altered it down to the Patriots to cover plus 9.5. And it was still like only like minus 200. That's pretty good legs for that. And I think this is going to be a very close game.
I've seen internet predictions saying 17-14 Seahawks.
Like I said, I
possible
I
too.
think this is going to be a very good game for the first half, but I just think eventually, especially early on in the first half, if the Seahawks are able to get to May, they're able to hit him a couple times, they're able to pressure him, even if they don't get sacks, they're able to, get him off rhythm, make him move around. I think, they're going to have a tough time in the second half. I think, if the Seahawks offensively has done what they've been doing and they're just scoring kind of, maybe every other possession or getting a field goal at every other possession. And it's, I think they're going to pull away in the second half. I think we're probably going to see like a, you know, 17-14, maybe 14-7 game at the half. And then I think in the second half, the more the more experienced quarterback in Sam Darnold, the
Wow.
better offensive collection of talent on the Seahawks, and the better pass rush of the Seahawks is going to come down to that in the second half.
Obviously, I like the Seahawks. If I'm looking at the other side, I'm seeing Mike Vrabel and what he's been able to do with this team. I've faded Mike McDonald a little bit this season just because, with his lack of experience as a head coach, what he had to overcome, I thought he was going to lose against, especially Sean McVay, because the Rams were my Super Bowl pick to go to the Super Bowl early in the season if I had one. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be a very close game. I really love and agree with all the things that we've kind of collaboratively talked about throughout what our predictions are for this game. I think it kind of starts a little bit slower. I think they kind of go back and forth a little bit. I think the Seahawks pull away late, but then I think the Patriots score a touchdown late and cover the 4.5. I have the Seahawks 27-24.
Ooh. I got the highest score out of all of us then.
Yeah. So I would not be mad about a 35-28 game.
No, that's the thing. I want to see, like, I get it. Like we all said, it's going to be a slow going first half, but I want to see some action in the second half. I want to see these teams get accustomed to each other,
make adjustments,
and come out. I'm feeling Drake May is going to have a bigger day with his legs than he will his arm. Because, like Max said, if that Seattle line can get him scurrying, that kid, you get him running around, he can damage it with his feet. We've seen it all season. He can make some plays running forward. So, he might be able to put up some damage in there. I like if it's going to be the youngness of that team. Don't get me wrong. It's not like Sam Darnold's been there, but he's been there. He's done his thing in the league. You got Drake. I think he's just young. He's gonna have the deer in headlight look a little bit because he's coming up against probably one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best this year, and they're gonna give that guy some problems. I guarantee 5 sacks. Yeah, I think they get that today with ease. To be honest, and like you said, because I'm pretty sure they're both good for a pick because they are those type of quarterbacks. Now, do they get returned? I don't know. It depends on where they happen, I think. I think a lot of them are going to happen in the red zone just because they're going to try to squeeze a ball in there somewhere to make a bad decision.
These are some good bets, like Leonard Williams to record 1.25 sacks. That's like over 1.5 sacks or more, plus 750.
If that's an end coming in, then all day I'd give it to him. Like
Super Bowl game specials, team to record the most sacks, Seahawks minus 192, Patriots plus 144. Total sacks by Seahawks defense over 3.5 is plus 102. So you said you like 4, right? So over 3.5 plus 102. That's good.
I think they easily get 5 today. Like Max said, he's been sacked 5 times by way less better defenses than this. So coming into this, going up against these guys, they're going to eat him up today a good bit. But I do think that they're going to get it together enough to put a game together. But I think that Seattle defense is just going to be they're going to be icky. Sam Darnold's going to have a bad day too, though.
5 plus sacks plus 255. Yeah, I think both quarterbacks are going to throw an interception.
Absolutely. Like I think the Patriots defense is damn near just as good as not to mention they're just coached by Vrabel. I think they're going to give Sam Darnold all kind of fits today too, but I think that Sam Darnold just has the years in the league and the the time under center to the veteran play just to make sure his team can pull out. And today it's really going to boil down to those two defenses. Someone's going to bend; they just can't break. And I think the Patriot defense at the end of the day, they're gonna like you said, man. The Seahawks are just they're loaded with talent on the offensive side of the ball. You got Darnold, you got Gainwell, you got JSN, and you got dude on the other side. It's just going to be a nasty day for them Patriot defensive backs. And then you can not to mention like Gainwell's just going to come out and do stupid shit.
Gainwell.
Like that guy's
Walker.
What's that?
Walker.
Huh?
Walker.
Oh, Kenneth Walker, my bad. I don't know why I confuse those two a lot. They're kind of the same type of dude. But yeah, is that one dude coming back, that Chardonnay or whatever his name is?
No, that's going to be a big X factor for this game too. They're going to miss him a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that sucks.
Total interceptions for both quarterbacks to throw over 1.5 is -106. So they do like the under on that, but I like both of them to throw one. That's about it for that. Last one for our pops, the one that I like to do too. Number 9, Gatorade color: yellow, blue, purple, green, red, other. Other is like no color, white, no Gatorade.
I'm gonna go.
2024 was
I'm
yellow.
gonna go red this year.
I'm gonna go red.
Yeah.
Pour a little red Gatorade onto the Seahawks players would be something.
I don't think they'll be green because of the Seahawks. Then again, you got red for the Patriots.
This one I put a lot of thoughts into it. I was listening to a little bit of the radio the other day, listening to some other things, and kind of getting some opinions on this, and people doing some research and all that. I think I'm gonna go with blue. Any color blue, either like the cool blue, lighter blue, or the darker blue.
That's fine with me.
I'm gonna go with blue, mostly because I think it resonates with both teams. I think both teams got blue kind of in their logo and on their uniforms and everything like that. So I just feel like blue could be a good color for it. Or like Marley said, a green, like a light lime green, something like that, lemon lime, wouldn't be a bad choice either.
Over the last 24 Super Bowls, orange has been the top Gatorade color at 20%. Since 2015, blue Gatorade has been top 40%.
Wow.
The odds: yellow, lime greens +175, blue +300, orange +350, purple +650, red, pink +900, water clear +1100.
My old ladies that are watching the.
I think the safe pick were either of these teams because they're both blue. It would definitely be blue, whether it's like the ice blue, dark, regular blue. I'm really leaning yellow. Give me blue. Last year's Gatorade color was, of course, we said yellow, which is what I picked correctly. So I'm going to go blue this year. And I have our tally up here for all those collectively together, and that wraps up our props for the Super Bowl. This is it, boys. Last game of the season. Then we have Daytona next week.
Oh, you have.
I knew you was gonna mention that. And I'd like to give props to both of you gentlemen for all the hard work and the consistency that you had for the show this season. I know we talked a lot, off air, about my absence kind of this season from the show, kind of just a little personal breakaway and enjoying some things in life with family and things.
Yeah,
and
man.
it's always a fun time, man, doing this show. Like whenever I am able to, be here and talk to y'all and talk football and talk the NFL, and it's always a wonderful time. I always feel like we have great perspectives and different perspectives on things that clash really well together. So I just want to give major props, love to both of you guys, and say thank you for what y'all done. Fantastic year.
That's what I wanted to mention too. Beyond the podcast, that we do, whether or not we show up every week for or not. we take it very seriously, where we take holidays off, and family and our minds and ourselves come first above everything else. We've always instilled that in any business we have all done together. We've been at it for a long time, and we understand, and we appreciate the time that you do have, and we also appreciate the time that we have to be able to take the hour or the 2 hours on Sundays, whether or not we're able to do the show. So big thanks you, all of you. Big thanks for making the time, whether in here or not. You're still sharing the tweets. You're still involved in any way you can, and even if you haven't been, it's all good. Family, and your health and yourself have always come first.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's still crazy to me. I sent y'all that screenshot from that Facebook post of 5 years ago. Today,
Yep.
episode 3 of Peace of Mind went live, and we were live on Twitch, and it's just crazy to think about, man. What a ride it's been, And Marley joined us full time a couple years back,
Yep.
and been on the show primarily after being a guest pretty frequently and coming on, especially when it was some big news about the Steelers that week, or a big Steelers game coming up, and it's just it's been a crazy wild world, man. From coming up there and visiting and camping in the mountains, and then walking around Pittsburgh, and then walking around Cleveland, and going to the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame Museum in Canton. Me and you, Pizzle, and
Yeah.
I think next time I come up, and we'll have to get Marley and all three go make a return visit there, because that's just it's a phenomenal experience. It's just a phenomenal experience. There's so much NFL history there. There's so much cool stuff there. They have so many great presentations that you can sit down and watch, and just listen to some of the workers there and the stories they can tell, and all that. It's truly breathtaking. Like, if you're a true NFL fan, if you're a true sports fan, a fan of the game, that is a phenomenal place to visit.
Absolutely.
Well, so next time you come up, man, I told Pizzo I want to go. I've only been to the Football Hall of Fame once, but I'd also like to go out. I'm not as big as a fan, but I am. The Baseball Hall of Fame's also not far from us either.
Yeah, Cooperstown. We go up there. Yeah, a couple hours.
Cooperstown would be a.
All good, Max. All good. Cooperstown would be
yeah, Pizzo has. We all have the same problem. Dogs barking out the door.
Oh, you're good. Part of the show.
Cooperstown would be cool to visit one year too.
Yeah, I'm down. I am down. Appreciate you all making time hanging out. Let's go our separate ways for the day and get some whatever we got to do, prep and stuff. Get ready for the Super Bowl. I'm gonna enjoy me a nice little potato bar today with some appetizers.
We're gonna grill some steaks ourselves here, and maybe a couple adult beverages, and have a good time.
I'm making some bison chili, and my wifey here made, well, not wifey, but might as well fucking be. She made homemade cheese sticks, man.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they're nice, bro. She's already she made the cheese, and she had some extra cheese left over last night. She had breaded broccoli, and she put the cheese over it and baked it in the oven. That shit smelled great coming out of the oven with just that broccoli. So I'm kind of anxious to try these cheese sticks today too.
Let's go. All right, boys. Yeah. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in for another season of Peace of Mind Sports Podcast. We will talk to you soon. We'll be back. We've got some draft stuff coming up that we're going to get into, Marley.
Yeah, we always got we're not done for the season, you guys. This is just the final show. So
we gotta,
of course,
work to do.
Super Bowl. Yeah, you won't see us after the Super Bowl for a couple of weeks, because we take that time to decompress, and everything starts to there's a lot of coaching changes that have already happened. So we're that's all. We haven't really talked about all that yet, because we have a whole nother show coming in a few weeks for you guys. The draft's coming here. We will be live on location for the NFL draft, because my ass will be down there.
Let's go.
So it's in Pittsburgh. So we will be down there. I'm hoping to get Pizzle out here, and I'm going to try and get us a folding table, and we're going to go sit out on the sidewalk somewhere, and we're going to do a live broadcast from the draft, baby. So yeah, so we got a big draft show coming up. We got a good off. A lot of moves are going to happen in the off season. Some of these Super Bowl coaches are going to go some other places, so there's still a lot to work on. We're going to take our time off, and we appreciate all you guys for joining us for these shows. We wouldn't be here without you, even if it's maybe just a handful. We've got Eric. He pretty much I think we are his pre-show. He don't even watch the national media. He just watches us. We're way more entertaining anyway.
Facts.
So thank you everybody for always coming out. I appreciate you, gentlemen. Pizzle, my man, the hard work you put in every week. My man's up doing show prep on Saturday nights. He does all this production. He makes sure all these sound effects go great. Make sure the cameras are properly got the graphics. My man runs everything. Big shout out to Pizzle over here.
Let's
Max,
go.
we love you, brother. Always love you, man. You got, like I said, when this shit started after the Cleveland Browns beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we just got into a damn Discord to start bitching, and then I started bitching over there in his glory. Max is just sitting there listening to this shit.
He didn't know about the rivalry yet, like that. He didn't know it was like that yet.
He didn't know about that yet. And then he found out, and then I was like, hey man, you talked about doing this podcast, so let's make it happen. But you and Max should do this shit. And it's been great ever since. And I can't wait to get back in a few weeks after February, and probably sometime in March, you guys will see us chime back in once the news starts coming through. Well, I'm anxious to get the draft started.
Let's go, baby. Season 2026 will be closer than we know it. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. Peace out.